Could humans live on a gas giant like Jupiter? This question sounds simple enough, but let's be clear right away. No, humans could not live on Jupiter. End of video. Except as of course, that's not how these videos work. Let's actually take a journey into what trying to live on Jupiter would really mean. First, Jupiter isn't a solid planet. It doesn't have a surface like Earth or Mars. Instead, imagine diving into an endless ocean of gas, hydrogen and helium mostly. If you tried to land on Jupiter, you just fall through the clouds. At first, you'd see those familiar stripes and storms, including the Great Red Spot, which is basically a hurricane 3 times larger than Earth. Romantic in pictures, terrifying in person. As you fall, the air would become thicker and hotter. At about 50 kilometers down, the pressure is already so intense that your lungs would collapse instantly. No big deal, just a little chest discomfort. And if you thought maybe a spacesuit would save you, sorry, it would be crushed and cooked at the same time. Going deeper, the hydrogen gas itself transforms. Under extreme pressure, hydrogen becomes liquid. Keep falling, and eventually it becomes metallic hydrogen, which is exactly what it sounds like. Hydrogen that behaves like a shiny metal, conducting electricity and creating Jupiter's enormous magnetic field. So if being squished and roasted wasn't enough, you'd also be inside a planetary-scale microwave oven. Fun. But let's say somehow you had indestructible technology that could protect you. Could you then set up a colony floating in the upper atmosphere? Surprisingly, this is where things get a bit more hopeful. Up in the high clouds, there are altitudes where the pressure is similar to Earth's, and the temperature is, well, not pleasant, but survivable with the right equipment. You wouldn't be standing on ground, of course. Instead, you'd need floating cities, like blimps drifting above the storms. In fact, NASA has toyed with this idea for Venus, and something similar could be imagined for Jupiter. There's just one tiny problem: radiation. Jupiter's magnetic field is the largest of any planet in our solar system. It traps enormous amounts of charged particles, creating radiation belts so intense they could fry human DNA in seconds. The amount of radiation near Jupiter makes the worst nuclear disaster on Earth look like a tanning salon. Unless your floating city had shielding thicker than a battleship, you wouldn't last long. And let's not forget the winds. The atmosphere of Jupiter is in constant violent motion, with jet streams racing at hundreds of kilometers per hour. Imagine trying to live inside a thunderstorm that never ends. Even the strongest floating city would be tossed around like a balloon at a rock concert. Still, humans are stubborn. If we couldn't live on Jupiter, maybe we could live around it. Some of Jupiter's moons are much more promising. Europa, for example, has a vast ocean beneath its icy surface. Ganymede has its own magnetic field. Callisto is far enough from Jupiter's deadly radiation to be relatively safe. In a way, the best places to live on Jupiter are actually the worlds orbiting it. But let's return to our original question. Could humans live on Jupiter itself? Not in any conventional sense. You can't build houses, plant crops, or walk your dog when the ground beneath your feet is literally non-existent. At best, you could have floating habitats in the upper atmosphere, shielded from radiation, somehow stable against the winds. That's science fiction territory, not realistic engineering. So if you're dreaming of moving to another planet, pick Mars. Or maybe Titan, Saturn's moon with lakes of methane. Or even Europa. But Jupiter doesn't want you. Jupiter is a giant ball of crushing gas, metallic storms, and invisible death rays. It's the universe's way of saying, this is not for humans. Try somewhere else. And yet, Jupiter does give us something. Without it, Earth itself might not exist as we know it. Jupiter's enormous gravity acts like a cosmic vacuum cleaner, pulling in comets and asteroids that might otherwise slam into our planet. So in a sense, we're alive today partly because of Jupiter. We just don't get to live on it. So, could humans live on a gas giant like Jupiter? Only if you redefine living as floating inside a death cloud while being microwaved by radiation, which technically counts. But if you're looking for real estate in the solar system, maybe check the moons instead.